In 2017 to 2019 era, there was a lot of great e-com people on YouTube. There was a lot of fake guru, but there was a lot of impressive people. And one of those impressive people was Matt Panic, who was running an agency called Sales Genomics. It was a really great agency. Like, having worked at a big company and working across big marketing campaigns prior to my agency time, I can confidently say I can spot great marketers and fake gurus. Matt was definitely not a fake guru. In my previous career, I used to focus on paid advertising, and I was like, cool, email is good to have, but does it really move the needle? Actually, email can make like a huge difference. Email doesn't only increase your revenue, it makes your marketing more efficient, meaning you can spend less and make more revenue. The cool thing with email is most e-commerce brand has a 2% conversion rate. Some slightly less, some slightly more, depending on the niche and your traffic, etc. But for example, say, let's use the average number of 2%. That means 98% of visitors don't convert on their first visit, which is pretty normal. Like in your case or in my case, when you're shopping online, you don't buy every single website you visit. Otherwise, you'll be broke, like no matter how rich you are.
Storm.
Guys, we got another episode of the One Network here. I got JP with me. He is a e-commerce email marketing expert, founder of E-commerce Boost, serial entrepreneur. JP, great to have you on the pod. Looking to get into kind of your background, how you got a bit involved in the business, running an agency, the margins, the space as far as Klaviyo and the technology, maybe some Black Friday tips. But first off, can you give us a kind of a details on, how you got started in business in the first place and how did you get involved in business?
Amazing. Thanks for having me, Chris. Look, I've always been an entrepreneur, but I'll give you like a 60-second background on me. I've been in marketing for 16 years, so quite some time. I was previously a marketing executive at a company called Crown Resorts here in Australia. I was managing marketing for their hotels and a bunch of their other portfolio business. And then on the side, I had a couple of side hustle, as you call it these days. I had a couple of websites doing affiliate marketing. Like many people, discovered dropshipping in 2015, 2016. That was big. And I started looking more into e-commerce. In 2018, 2019, I had an e-commerce site selling furniture. In 2020, I sold it. It wasn't a massive exit that I can go retire, but give me a little while to go and figure out what's next. Decided to quit my job and just focus 100% on e-commerce. At first, I was a consultant, so I was advising a lot of brands on growth, even though now I focus on email and SMS marketing and conversion rate optimization. At first, I was doing anything and everything. So I was a media buyer, doing Facebook ads, doing Google ads. I was a growth marketer for a number of brands, helping them scale affiliate marketing and a bunch of other channels. Like in the marketing space, you will call me like a full stack marketer. And then I realized, hang on, all those agencies are doing media buying, but there's a lot of potential with email. And I was helping 2 or 3 brands, and I was like, we've literally doubled their revenue in a few months. Why don't I just go and do that for a number of brands? And that's where the agency was born. And now, we've worked with 200 plus brands and growing.
Nice. So how did you sort of, in terms of your interest in e-commerce, like how did you build that knowledge set or just like learn how the business itself worked? Did you talk to a lot of people? We talk about kind of networking and coaching. How did you get that, build up that skill set and knowledge in the first place?
Yeah, like I did a lot of learning working on my own e-commerce brand. So in 2018, 2019, and yeah, lots of self-education, networking, talking with people. I also work at a big agency called Sales Genomics. So I was an account manager there. So I got to work on a lot of cool brands. So I work on Walkie Paws, which was on Shark Tank. I work on Oyo Skincare, which is a big skincare brand in the UK. I work on Verdi-Love Cosmetics. So yeah, I suppose to answer your question, working at agency, you get to work across a number of brands, and you work with a lot of smart marketers as well. So you bounce off ideas, you get to test and experiment a lot of things, and then you over time you figure out what works and what doesn't work.
Nice. In terms of the agency business, like, can you walk us through sort of the first few steps of building that? How did you get it off the ground? And
Honestly, I like to joke. I like to joke with my friends that agencies are just a glamorized freelancer because it is. So my agency essentially started as me consulting and freelancing for a number of brands. So I just had like a sidekicker helping me. I was managing 3 brands, and then I had 7 brands. I had 10 brands, and it was just becoming like a lot for me to manage. And then I started building a team around me. And yeah, and at some point I had like 15, 20 brands, and it was just impossible for me to run alone. So I just started recruiting really smart and great people who have great experience, and then delegating to them. And that's how the agency came about.
nice. What has been, walk me through like the first client engagement. We have a lot of people building marketing agencies. Difficulties always getting the ROI, getting synced up with the client, sort of passing knowledge from one thing to the other. How did you sort of set up that first operation, delivering the service for the client?
Cool. I think I'm about to get a delivery, so my dog might go crazy. So
Nice.
FYI, you might hear barking. I might need to pause and pick up my delivery. So yeah, you asked me like how I got everything set up. The cool thing is I might talk a little bit about Sales Genomics ad agency that I work on. So in 2017 to 2019 era, there was a lot of great e-com people on YouTube. There was a lot of fake guru, but there was a lot of impressive people. And one of those impressive people was Matt Panic, who was running an agency called Sales Genomics. It was a really great agency. Like, having worked at a big company and working across big marketing campaigns prior to my agency time, I can confidently say I can spot great marketers and fake gurus. And Matt was definitely not a fake guru. Matt was just really smart, the way he think about marketing. And I think sometime in 2020, I saw him posting like he was looking for an e-com strategist to join his team. I reached out to him, did 3 rounds of interview. I joined his team. So in terms of how I set up everything, I got a lot of learning from working at Sales Genomics, because they were like my first decentralized workplace, you can say. So the agency was based in the UK. They had clients everywhere globally, and I was based in Australia. So I get to learn a lot how they set this up and how they systemize everything on Slack. So I got a lot of learnings from that. And at the same time, the cool thing is they were comfortable with their staff building businesses. So even though I worked there, they were primarily a media buying agency, so doing Facebook ads and Google ads. They were okay with me building my email marketing agency on the side. And then I got to some point, I was like, cool, it's big enough. I'll leave that and focus on my agency. So yeah, I got a lot of learnings. I don't know if that does that answer your question?
Yeah. So you were talking about like the gurus and whatnot. We've had a couple guys on that are, I guess notable gurus in sort of the email marketing, visual email marketing, not the cold email space. They're doing tear downs of different campaigns. Like, what's the reality there? Like, can you really change, the course of a company's trajectory or sales through an email?
Absolutely, absolutely. Honestly, had you asked me this maybe 8 years ago, I would be a bit suspicious as well. I'll be like, really, through email? Because yeah, in my previous career, I used to focus on like paid advertising, and I was like, cool, email is good to have, but does it really move the needle? Actually, email can make like a huge difference. Email doesn't only increase your revenue, it makes your marketing more efficient, meaning you can spend less and make more revenue. I'll quickly explain why. Most e-commerce brand has a 2% conversion rate. Some slightly less, some slightly more, depending on the niche and your traffic, etc. But for example's sake, and let's use the average number of 2%, that means 98% of visitors don't convert on their first visit, which is pretty normal. Like, even you can see in your case or in my case, when you're shopping online, you don't buy every single website you visit. Otherwise, you'll be broke, like no matter how rich you are. You're shopping around, you're looking at other website, or maybe you might speak to your partner. And the way e-commerce brand convert a customer is by doing remarketing. So remarketing is not new. This has existed for as long as advertising exists. But it's basically, if someone visited your website, you just continue to retarget them. As you know, anyone who's been on the internet know, hey, if you visit the brand, like the brand literally follow you on the internet. That's what's called remarketing. But this costs money, right? If you're remarketing through Google display advertising, this costs money. If you're remarketing through Facebook ad, this costs money. And you should be using those methods. But the cool thing with email is when you remarket, it's costing you practically nothing. So once someone on your email list and you're nurturing them, you're remarketing to them, it's costing you practically nothing. So then you can use your top of funnel marketing like Facebook ads and Google ad, focus on driving new customer or new visitors, and then your email ad nurturing and converting them. So that means you could be spending the same amount, but you're generating more. That's why email help you with growth.
Nice. What do things like the volume of email or like the technical sort of statistics like deliverability, like how important is that stuff in your experience?
Extremely important. It was important before. It's even more important in 2024 because there's some new rule that came out from Gmail and Hotmail and all the email server that you need to have a good deliverability score. That is because there was a lot of senders abusing the email tool, like spamming people. So that's extremely important because these days, if you don't maintain a good deliverability score, a healthy engagement with your email list, you will get penalized and your email sender can even get banned. So extremely important. In terms of volume, absolutely. Like any marketing channel, the higher the volume, the more people you reach, the more people you convert. But again, like any marketing channel, it needs to be the right audience. That you can't just go and buy a random list and add it to your list. Even if it's 100,000 people or 1 million people, it doesn't matter. If it's not the right target audience, the size doesn't matter. So yes, volume is important, but it needs to be the right target audience. In my experience, the best way to have the right people on your email list is by having like your normal marketing channel, like whether you're using SEO or paid ads, like using those normal marketing channel and then having a really tactical opt-in form on your website. There's a few other tactics which I'm happy to dive into.
Nice. What about things like colors and size and like spacing? I've heard that talked about a little bit. Do you think that's a factor?
Oh, 1,000%. Anyone in the marketing space that says this isn't a factor, they're like, they need to go read scientific advertising. They need to go listen to Dan Kennedy. Like, these are the greats of the marketing world. Extremely important. Absolutely extremely important. It doesn't matter the marketing channel, like color, fonts, everything matter across all marketing channel.
Nice. What about like in terms of copy? A lot of people talking about AI copy using platforms. You know what I'm saying? ChatGPT, whatever. Have you seen a good use case for AI in terms of e-com email marketing?
Yes and no. So in at e-commerce boost, we experiment using ChatGPT to write our email copy, but it doesn't really align with the brand tone. So at this stage, we're still using copywriters because we like to, and not only that we like, but we see like having personalities in email tend to work better. So yeah, I'm sure you can use a lot of AI tool, but I don't think like the human element can completely be removed from it. So you still need like probably review and flush out the copy. Yeah.
Nice. How are you growing the agency? Like, what does the team look like? What are your objectives? What's your strategy for growing the agency?
Yeah, so I've been running this agency for almost 5 years now. Over the years, I've used multiple marketing channel. The team sits roughly between 18 and 20. It fluctuates. At times of the year, we get busier, so we might bring extra people on board. And over time of the year, we're probably sitting between the 15 to 20. How am I growing the agency? A number of ways. Like the boring answer is like word of mouth. Like this has really worked for us because I've been in this industry for a while, so built a lot of good relationship, but also good relationship are built by in the past they've referred us client, and then the person have gone back to them and say, hey, these guys do a great job, so then they feel confident referring other people to us. So yeah, we have existing client referring friends or people they know. What else? And then we've tested like a bunch of other marketing channels. Like I personally like experimenting with different marketing channels. So yeah, we experimented with LinkedIn, Facebook, community, and a bunch of other marketing channel.
Nice. Cool. So what about, have you thought about doing content or like getting involved in, I don't know, like becoming a sort of influencer of sorts or guru to get clients? Or have you heard of any other agencies doing that successfully?
Yeah, actually, I was speaking to, so one of the other ways that we grew is we have a lot of agency partners. So like we have some agency that focus purely on media buying, and then we focus on email. So if we have clients that need media buying, we refer to them, and vice versa. If they need email, the client need email, they'll refer to us, and we have like dev partner, SEO partner, etc., etc. And just maybe 2 weeks ago, I was speaking to one of our agency partner based in Netherlands, and he was telling me how using content was really working for him. I don't know if it's a mental block or only my perception, but I don't think I'm cut out for content. I don't think it's one of my forte. I'm really good at a lot of a marketing channel, but I don't think I know it works. I know it can work. I just don't believe I'm cut out to do that. I experimented a bit with LinkedIn content. I think that's slightly better because I don't need to get in front of the camera and it's only text and image. That worked really well. But yeah, in terms of jumping on the camera, every now and then I'm tempted to do it because I have friends telling me how it's working really well for them. But then I do it, I'm like, oh, I don't think that's for me. So yeah, maybe at some point I will, but yeah, at this stage I'm still sitting on the fence.
Nice. Cool. So what kind of lessons have you learned from the business, or what would you impart on other people starting agencies?
Wow, where do we start? Lessons. So many lessons. I think, like, for me, I'm really inspired with Ogilvy. So Ogilvy is one of the is part of WPP. WPP is the biggest marketing agency in the world, like the holding of the biggest agency in the world. And if you go back to like the 1940s, how Ogilvy started, like, they had just like very simple yet high standard, which I think is the same way anyone should build a business in 2024 and beyond. So, like, just do the right thing. Don't lie to people. Have high standards. Under sell and over deliver. So, like, don't over promise. Just say what you think you can do, but always over deliver. Like, I have a client that works with me for like 2-3 years, and I'm still over delivering for them today, as if I just signed them last week. So yeah, really deliver value. Whatever lesson. I'm sure there's so many, but I can't think of the spot. I like Kobe Bryant a lot, who was an ex NBA player. Like, he says, like, no matter what, keep going through the storm. Like, and that's what will happen in business sometimes. Like, sometimes it will storm. Like things will get difficult. There'll be challenging time, but yeah, you just have to keep going through it, and there's always sunlight at the end of it. So yeah.
Nice. Any tough lessons that you've learned, or things that you didn't expect kind of going in?
I'm sure there's many. No, I can't think of, like, tough. I think it's been fun. I love running the agency. I wish I started earlier. I think you need to enjoy what you do. It's cliche, and I'm sure people have heard it a million times. But yeah, you really need to enjoy what you do. Like, yeah, because yeah, there will be challenge throughout the journey. But yeah, if you enjoy it, then it makes it all worthwhile. And also, it's meant to be tough. We, like, you grow as a person going through it. It's like every business, like, like, in the grand scheme of thing, like, agency is easier than a lot of business, right? Like, we're not building electric car vehicle or sending a rocket to the moon. So, like, like, I don't think, yeah, I can't think like, hey, we can say this is tough. But yeah, I think there will be challenge, but yeah, you grow from it.
Nice. Cool. Where can people find you, and how do they work with you?
Where can people find me? LinkedIn is one of the places you can find me, JP Charles. Also check out our website, ecommerceboost.io. And yeah, if they want to work with us, they can book a free consultation on our website.
Cool. We're going to link it in the show notes, guys. Thanks for coming. JP, thanks for coming on, man. This is the One Network.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Good stuff.
Storm.